You have been trying to manifest success from the wrong identity. And in the next 15 minutes, I will show you how radical self-discovery rewires your result faster than any strategy will ever do. Things are not moving, not because you're not manifesting hard enough. They're not moving because the version of you who's trying to manifest is not the version who receives. And what if I told you that the very thing that is keeping everything at arm's length is your attachment to the outcome? You're constantly waiting and looking and wondering when it's going to happen. You have done the journaling, the affirmations, the meditations, the vision board, the money mindset rewiring, but you cannot manifest your way out of the old identity, and that is still running the show. And let me tell you how it played for me. So after trying 8 different strategies to start my business and scale my business, every time things fall flat. And I was wondering, like, what am I missing? Why it's not working? And the way it started to get to the point was that I would do one strategy and it wouldn't work. And I would go on the next one. That wouldn't work. And then I was just programmed to believe that whatever I'm doing is not going to work, right? So while I was working on the 3rd strategy, I would already be looking for the 4th one. Deep down, I would assume, I would know that it's not going to work. I was tired. I was exhausted. I was constantly trying to make it work, push it to work. But deep down, I knew it's not going to work. And I was already looking for the next best thing that's going to work. And when I would go on the 4th one, all the excitement of the 4th one would just fade away the moment I would do it, because I knew then it's not going to work. And what I realized was that the old identity was running my show. I wanted to be wildly abundant, but I was still working from the scarcity mindset. I was still wanting to just earn enough money to be able to make the ends meet. That means my bills are paid, I have enough money to survive, but I'm asking for overflow from the place of survival, right? So every time I'm seeing my bank account, I'm looking how much money is coming in. Instead of thinking from the place of overflow, having more money than I'll ever need, having more money that I gotta spend, what I was thinking was that, okay, I'm receiving this much money. If I have this much, I can pay this and this bill. So I'll have enough. I'll survive. And I was on the wrong frequency because the identity was making me go on the survival. And what I was asking from the God, from universe, whatever word that resonates with you, I was asking for overflow. But there was a disalignment. There was misalignment, like it wasn't a match. There was misalignment. It's like it was disjointed. It wasn't a match. So manifestation is not about what you want. It's about who you are being. It's about being radically true and honest with yourself and not trying to shy away from the self-discovery, the awareness, the uncovering, and saying, if I be super honest with myself, who am I being right now? So when I started to really uncover my identity, who I was being, I found 97 gaps, 97 things that were not aligned with who I was being. And when you hear this word, this number 97, you're wondering like, oh my God, this is a huge number. How I'm ever gonna shift it? Like it's gonna take me decades. It doesn't take you decades. And the reason it doesn't take you decades is because all those things are a lie. And the whole reason you want that vision and you want that money is because your soul is craving to be who you really are. So when you uncover that, I will share with you the 3-step process, which literally takes you to shift that so fast, so fast, right? And when I say manifesting, I'm really talking about manifesting in weeks. I don't even manifest in months anymore. I don't manifest in years. I manifest in weeks, sometimes 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. That's my lead time because of this work. Okay. But this is the identity level manifestation. Because when you are manifesting, right, and you're saying, okay, I'm gonna visualize, I'm gonna get on that frequency, I'm gonna feel good, I'm gonna be high vibe, you are trying to be who you are not. It's like you are making a temporary shift, right? And the moment your identity patterns, what you're rewired, because your identity is a success mechanism, it's like a mental program that's maintaining your whole existence. That mental program is also maintaining the digestion. So whenever there is a disruption with your digestion process, its job is to make it where it was and to bring it to balance. When there is a disruption with your nervous system, it does that. When there is a disruption with your any kind of system, right, with your respiratory system, it brings it back to normal. Similarly, its job is to bring it back to normal, to where you're programmed to earn a certain amount of money. It's a ceiling, it's a specific number that you see in your bank account. So what's happening is it's constantly bringing you back to where you were set at. But what we really want to do is we want to go and do the identity shift, where we change the actually setting of this program, where we reconfigure the setting of this program. It's like if you want to change the temperature in your house, you are not just going to go and open all the windows and make it cold, right? And then the heating system is still on that temperature, because if you do that and the house temperature goes down, the heating system will turn back on and make it warmer, and it will keep making it warmer until your temperature goes to what it was set at. So if you want to make a permanent shift in the temperature of your house, what you're going to do is you're going to change the thermostat. You're not going to change the outside. You're going to change the reconfiguration. And that's what we want to do. And just by journaling, affirmations, meditations, vision board, you are not changing the configuration. You're just trying to open the windows. You're trying to open the door. You're trying to open the outside to change something that is the inside. That is the configuration. Right? So actually, when you realize what is not matching and what is dictating the configuration, you can shift it really, really, really fast. And I want to share with you what that process is. So what I teach is the first step, the breakthrough method. In the breakthrough method, what we do is we uncover the identity. This is the process I used for the very first time, right? And then over the years, I have been perfecting it every single day. Every single day, as I'm learning more things and I'm embodying more things, I'm making it better and better. And right now, it's world class. It's incredible. So I want to share with you a little bit what it's about. It has got 5 tools. Now, in the breakthrough method, what we do is we understand what is your body telling you, because your identity is not in your mind anymore. Your identity is in your body. And let me explain how. So your mind, in your conscious mind, in your educated mind, in your thinking mind, you are thinking the thoughts. In your subconscious mind, you're feeling them. You start to embody them. You start to internalize them. You feel it. And then in the body, which is your unconscious mind, you start to embody, you start to be that. So it starts with an idea, you internalize it, and then you become it. Okay? And when you become it, your body doesn't even talk to your mind. It doesn't even ask your mind. It just goes and does it. So that's what happens when people say, okay, I want to get up at 6 o'clock every single day, or I want to do this, or I want to have a routine, or I want to go to gym. But actually, when it comes to doing it, because it's the identity is in your body, you don't even realize, you just don't do it. You don't follow through. You don't end up doing it. And you wonder, like, what is wrong? Like, why I can't stick to what I say, right? Or it's like when you wake up in the morning, you don't consult your mind and say, okay, what am I going to do first thing? You're going to brush your teeth. So your body moves in action. You're like, okay, I do this and I drink my coffee. I have this. So all those things, you don't think about them. You don't consult your mind, because right now they are who you are. They have become your identity. So with money, you have your identity. So what we do is we do lots of tools and meditations and introspection and a lot of things where we ask your body, right? And there are, based on different kind of identities and the emotions and the connotations that it attach, it impacts different part of your body. So an identity where you don't feel safe to speak your truth is attached to your skull, right? Sorry, it's attached to your throat. This identity is attached to your throat, where anytime you're not speaking your truth, you're not expressing yourself, you're feeling it doesn't matter, or people will make fun of me, or I would look stupid, you will start to feel the tension here. You'll start to feel this feeling of like, I feel the tightness. An identity where you don't love yourself and you don't feel worthy, you will start to feel the sensation in your heart. An identity where you don't trust your power, you don't trust yourself, you don't trust your receiving, it will feel in your abdomen, like just below your belly button. So that's your sacral. So what we do is we connect with your body, we reconnect with your body, and your body is always talking to you, by the way. We're not listening. And we ask, like, where is the identity stored? We also uncover the relationship with money, right? In a way that you don't use your conscious mind to say what you think you should be saying, but what's really there. So the first step is really uncovering, because you cannot change anything until you don't know what it is, right? Then the second step is putting it down. So we just put it down and we say, I'm putting this down. This is literally the easy way. You say, I'm putting it down. I want to see it differently. And then we go on the redesign in the second phase, where we are like, what would I love to see? Now, at this point, you haven't changed the identity yet, right? You're just deciding by putting the old one down, what is the new identity I want to take on? What is the new configuration I want, which aligns with that amount of money, which aligns with what I really want, right? So I had this client who came to me, right? And he was like, I've been doing this work for like decades and decades, at least 20 years. And every time I'm about to reach the breakthrough, like I'm about to manifest that, something happens and I'm pulled back and I don't understand what's going on. And what was really happening with him was that his mental program and his identity level program, I don't even just call it mental, because it's all mind, subconscious, and body, right? So his program would pull it back and bring him to the balance, right? Bring him to what it was set at. So when we uncover this identity, what we realize is that he felt that he wasn't worthy, because when he was little, he wasn't given that love as a child. He wasn't given that attention. So he always treated himself as unworthy. So whenever he would do something last minute or very close to that, he would just self-sabotage the whole thing. He would just, without even realizing, he would destroy the whole thing, right? Either he would just get careless, or he wouldn't pay attention, or he would just stop and his body would freeze, like whatever was required to balance that, his nervous system would do that, okay? Because your nervous system is regulating your identity, like it's basically controlling it. It's the job of your nervous system to do all of that, right? That's why sometimes you feel panicked, sometimes you feel like, I can't move forward, because your nervous system is putting you into frozen stage, right? So what we realized, when he started to really get in the identity of, I deserve that, I get to do that, it's me. And the interesting part was, he did so many mindset tools, so many courses, so much work, but this thing was never shifted, because it wasn't in the course, it wasn't him, it was within, it was in the configuration, right? So what we realize is that we shift that and all of a sudden everything works. It's literally like, when you shift that one thing, everything lands. So all the work that he did over the last 20 years started landing. So it's not that he had to learn from scratch, or he had to make it work, or he had to find all the answers. Everything, it's like there was some block, there was something, that a resistance, and we just pulled it and it started working. But until we put it, it took him 20 years, right? So what we do is, when you do that, and that's when his income 6x within the same year. 6x. I think it was less than 8 months when his income 6x'd. From the place he was stuck all the time for decades and decades, his income 6x'd. Just like that. Okay? So, and he didn't change much what he was doing. He didn't try any new strategy. He didn't change anything different. He just pulled that thing out. It was that easy. All right. So what we do is when we uncover that, we replace it with something else. But then what we do is we say to ourselves with this beautiful phrase, how would it look like when this is my truth? And we start to get in the feeling. So now you're feeling it. In the third stage, we are feeling that. How would it look like if I loved myself unconditionally? How would I feel? How would I think? How would I feel? How would I behave? So we take different pieces of the identity. Like in my case, it was 97 things we reversed very, very quickly. I put most of them down, and they went down so fast because they didn't make any logical sense for that, why I was carrying that, right? And with the others, what I did was I just take on the other one and I replaced it with a different one, and I started feeling myself into them, and I became that so fast. So anything that you're trying to manifest, any identity or any aspect of your manifestation, it should take you 1 to 2 or maximum 3 weeks when you do this, because it's so focused, it's so clear channel, it's so easy that it happens this fast. So I'm going to give you an example of how I did a crazy thing in 3 weeks. So that thing should have taken us 6-7 years on paper. So I took on the identity for my new corporate consulting business. And the reason I'm saying new, for me, it's not new. I see myself as an expert doing it forever. But the reason I'm telling you it's new, because in the physical reality, it's new. Okay, like it's just came in the physical. We conceived the idea and we did that. But we wanted to take on this identity very, very early on, that there is a huge demand for what we do. And people and companies are so excited to work with this because there's a huge demand, right? I started taking on this identity and I started to really feel that. And I said, how would I feel? How would I enter the networking events if there was a huge demand for what I was doing? How would I behave? How would I think? What kind of confidence I would have when I would enter those networking events? How would I speak to people? Would I be reluctant to speak to people because I will think, what's the point? Or I'll be so excited to speak to people because I know that there's a huge demand. So I started to feel it. And after 1 week, what I realized was, and I literally realized in the hindsight, when I would go in the networking events, people, and I would tell them that's what we do, as a company, they would get so excited and they would say, oh my God, we really need this. Give us your business card, or what's your email? Let's have a meeting. Let's meet up for coffee and discuss the next steps. Or somebody in my company needs it. Like we are missing this piece of the puzzle. Like we really need this. And I started to notice like every person I attracted would do the same. And they would be so intrigued by what we were doing. And I just realized that, oh my God, it's not even 1 week and this identity has manifested, right? Because I've removed what was not. So the key here is uncovering what is your old identity. This is the biggest piece, because once you do that, once you remove what never belonged there, it's like, when you're cleaning something and you just remove what doesn't belong there, then everything sits nicely. Like if you're cleaning your drawer and you clean it and remove the things that don't belong there, then the things that belong there are so nice and squeaky clean and look perfect. There's no effort in putting them back together because it's just a clear channel. So when you remove what doesn't belong there, it was so easy. It manifested in 1 week. And then something insanely crazy happened, that we partnered with a $1 trillion company, which is the most highly valued company across the globe. And I cannot say the name because it's very confidential for us, but we partnered with them in the 2nd week. And I was blown away that this thing is not just working, but it's going crazy and exploding. So on paper, it should have taken us 6-7 years because, going up to that size, or at least being a bit bigger, right? But we partnered with them. And the way it worked was, which is more insane, we didn't try for it. We didn't even know what was happening. So we were working with another company, and they told us that, oh, we are partnered with this company and that guy would love to meet you. And we were like, okay, but what is the agenda? Like, why would he like to meet us? It wasn't clear. We went anyway. And we went in the meeting. He was like, I saw your profile. And we want to work with you. Let's partner it together. Right? So this is the power. This is the power of shifting your identity. This is the power when you actually realize that you're just carrying what doesn't belong to you. And the moment you put it down and the moment you become aware of it and release it, you become a match. And I know right now you are watching and realizing, I've been that person all along. And I know you are. I know you have been. You deserve to live a wildly abundant life where you're not worrying about money, where you're not thinking, will I be able to make the ends meet? Like this is a disrespect to our Creator, to our true essence. Like we were never meant to even have these kind of thoughts. They're too small for us. We are meant to live a wildly abundant life. Like think of this universe. In the morning, I was thinking before my meeting started that this whole universe and this whole galaxy and what's underneath the oceans and what's in the sky and all those things, like they are beyond our imagination. But all the things are running in parallel, and there is so much abundance that we can't even get our head around it. And being the highest form of creation of that Creator, we are wondering, can I make my ends meet? Like, can I have enough? Can I pay all my bills? Is the money's gonna be enough? Really? Are we thinking that? Or we are living under an illusion? So manifestation without a radical self-discovery is just a wish. But when you return to your true identity, your reality catches up really, really fast.